Hello guys, so now I'm gonna be doing a 2.2 revision. So throughout this video I'll be explaining how to draw some stuff without using a protractor or a ruler. The first thing which the head might ask is to draw a congruent segment. So let's say we have a segment AB, okay, and we need to draw this congruent segment. This congruent segment anyway. The very first thing we're gonna do is that from any point we're gonna draw any line. Let's call this point C. So from point C we are gonna draw any random line. It can be like this. We'll call this line L. Okay, and this is our point C over here. Alright? The very next step we're gonna do is that we're gonna measure the length of AB using a compass. The length of AB using a compass, we call this radius AB. Now, if we are gonna go on to the third step, we're gonna put the compass on center C. So we're gonna say with center C, we're gonna draw an arc with radius AB. And just like that, if you measure the length of this, it's approximately 6.5, a little bit less. And you measure the length of this, it's also approximately, let me put it back a little bit. It's approximately 6.5 and a little bit less. So you see, they are the same measurement and we did it without using a ruler. So if we are gonna label this, the first thing we are gonna do, I'll change the color. The very first step we are gonna do is that we are gonna draw any line and we will call it, for example, L. This is L, let me do L. The second step we are gonna do is that we're gonna locate center C. It will be any point, center C on line L. The third step is with center C and radius AB, not any radius, it has to be the radius of the measurement. So with center C and radius AB, draw an arc. Okay, and then fourth step, let's call this point over here, for example, the arc cuts line L at a point D. And then finally, AB is equal to CD. This is the first thing, which is to draw congruent segments. The very first thing. So if you guys want a screenshot or if you want to try it on a paper, you can. Please don't forget, in the geometry periodic, bring with you, don't bring with you a calculator, but bring with you a geometry kit which includes a compass, a ruler and a protractor. Even though you won't be using the ruler and protractor, it's just for checking. The main thing that you'll be using is the compass. So in the exam, get with you a compass, a ruler and a protractor. Okay, and also most importantly, a pencil. So this is for what? This is for drawing congruent segments. Now, something new, we are going to try to draw congruent angles. So let's take the protractor and, okay, this is not a clear angle. So using the protractor, we could draw from here an angle of, let's say, about 40. It's not exactly 40, so let me do it again. Still not exactly 40. There we go. So here now we have an angle of what? Of 40 degrees. We measured it using the protractor. So without using the protractor, I'll make it disappear for now. And using the compass, what are we gonna do? The very first thing we are gonna do is that before we use the compass, we are gonna name our angle. Let's call this angle A, B, C. So BAC actually, it's angle BAC. Okay, the next step we're gonna do is that we're gonna take our compass, okay, we're gonna extend it to as much as we want. It's not a specific point. Then what are we gonna do? We're gonna draw an arc that cuts the angle BAC at 2 points that we will call B. We'll call them point B, not B, sorry. Oops. So let me do it again. So we draw an arc that cuts angle BAC at 2 points that we can call D and E. Okay? So this is the second step. The third step is that we can draw any line. This, you can make it the first step, okay, or the second or whatever, but I made it the third step. The third step is to draw any ray. Let's call this ray M. And the vertex is K, for example. So ray M with the vertex or the point K. Now, what are we gonna do? With the measure of AD, for example, we're gonna measure AD. Okay, you see? There we go. We measured AD. With this measure, or with radius AD, we're gonna bring the compass and we're gonna put it at point K. Then we're gonna do what? We're gonna draw an arc from point K. Okay? Now this arc will cut the ray K M, or the ray M at which point? At this point over here, which we can call it point N. This point over here, we called it point N. But we're not done yet. The next step we're gonna do is that we're gonna come back here. We're gonna measure, before that, we're gonna take a ray and we are gonna connect D and E. And now what are we gonna do? We're gonna connect the measurement of D and E. There we go, now it is connected. So after that, we take the compass with measurement of DE or radius of DE, and we put it at center N. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna draw another arc. It's not a good arc for some reason. There we go. I drew a circle, but you're supposed to draw another arc. Okay? Now, a point of intersection over here that we will call Y. This point of intersection Y, if we connect it with the vertex K, we will get an angle. But is this angle equal to BAC? Let us check. We're gonna take the protractor. We're gonna fix it so that it's exactly. Then we're gonna put it over here, and you see that the angle is exactly 40 degrees. So if we're gonna write the steps, so if we are gonna write the steps, I'll write them here. First thing, actually I prefer the first thing you do is that you draw ray M. So draw any ray M. Okay? The second step you're gonna do is that with the center A, okay, you're gonna draw an arc with radius R. We don't know what this radius is. So with center A, draw an arc of radius R. Sometimes you will see arbitrary radius. Arbitrary radius means a random radius of R, okay? Now this radius R, this arc with radius R, it cut what? It cuts the segment AB at which point? At D. And the segment AC at which point? At E. So the first step, we drew any ray M. Second step, with the center A and any radius R, an arbitrary radius R, we drew an arc that cuts AB at D and AC at E. Okay, now the third step is that with radius AD, for example, I'm gonna take radius AD, so the measure of this length, so radius AD, okay, and center K, and we took center of the center K, we are gonna draw an arc that cuts ray M at N. So we drew an arc, this arc over here, I will color it in blue. It cut the ray M at point N, okay? Then the fourth step you can do, that you will do actually, not that you can do, you have to do it, is that with radius DE, so remember how I said we're going to connect DE and then we're going to take the distance or the radius of DE with the compass, okay, and center N, draw an arc. Now, of course, you can write more, so I can't fit it here, so I'll just say it. So with the radius DE and center N, we will draw an arc that will cut the first arc, that will cut the primary arc at point Y. Okay, so I can't fit it here anymore. So if you guys want to write for number 4, it will be with radius DE and center N, draw an arc that cuts the initial or primary arc at point Y. Now, in the fifth step, I will change the color. Okay, we're gonna connect points Y and K. After connecting points Y and K, we will also connect. So let's say for number 5, we're gonna do connect points Y and K and connect points Y and N. Okay, this is for number 5. And then finally, the very last step, or like not the last step, the result, we get that, let me write it in a different place. Let me write it over here. The result, we get that the angle BAC is equal to the angle YKN. So, first step, we're gonna draw any ray M. Second step, we're gonna do with center A, we're gonna draw an arc of radius R. Arbitrary radius, a radius that we don't know, a random radius R, that cuts the ray AB at D and the ray AC at E. The fourth step we're gonna do is that with the radius, the third step, I read the second, now the third step we're gonna do with radius AD and center K, we're gonna draw an arc that cuts the ray M at point N. Now the fourth step we're gonna do is that with the radius DE and center N, we're gonna draw an arc that cuts the initial arc at point Y. The fifth step we're gonna do is that we're gonna connect points Y and K and connect points y and n. And we're gonna get as a final result that angle BAC is equal to angle YKN. If they ever give you justification or justify or prove it, didn't we say that we connected y and n also, and a and d, and d and e and a and e? So look, we have two triangles, yeah? So we have a side here is congruent to this side over here. So we have a side congruent. We have this side over here is congruent to this side over here. And we have this side over here is congruent to this side over here. So by the SSS theorem, triangle DAE is equal to triangle YKN. And corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. I don't think there's an A, but you can do corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, or corresponding angles. So it will be CAOCTC. Corresponding angles of congruent triangles are congruent, and then you will get that angle BAE or angle DAE, whatever you want to call it. Let's say DAE. So angle DAE is equal to angle YKN. So this is what this is for proving or for making two congruent triangles. Okay. My bad. I mean two congruent angles. Okay, the previous one was two congruent angles. Now, here if you want to do two congruent triangles, it's the same method, the exact same way. But now, let us do something different. We're gonna try doing an equilateral triangle. So let's clear everything first. Okay. And we're gonna try doing an equilateral triangle. We have this ray over here. Let's see how much it's measured. Its measurement is approximately, we'll say, almost 7 centimeters. Okay, so by ruler, we will not use the ruler. Okay, so what are we gonna do if we need to make an equilateral triangle? Very simply, we're gonna start by taking the rhombus, not the rhombus, the compass. And I also forgot to name the segment. Let's name the segment AB. So now we take the compass and we measure the radius of AB. Okay? So, with center A, we're gonna draw an arc. Like this. Okay? It's a big arc. Then, we're gonna go to center B. Okay? So then, with center B, we're gonna draw another arc. It's another big arc. I drew a circle by accident. I meant to draw an arc. Okay? So, we drew an arc. We drew two arcs, okay? So what did we do first of all? We took our compass and we measured the radius of AB. After that, we drew an arc with radius AB from center A, and then we drew an arc with the radius AB from center B, and then the two arcs, they will meet at what? At 2 points. Let me change the color. It will meet at a point here, which we will call C, and a point here, which we will call D. But if you notice, they said we need an equilateral triangle, not two. So if you drew it from A to D and then from D to B, this is correct. Or if you drew it from A to C and A to B and C to B, it is also correct. So you don't draw both of them, draw only one of them, because they're asking for an equilateral triangle. So for example, I'm gonna remove the one up from A to C and then C to B. So I'm gonna draw that this equilateral triangle over here, it is ADB. And now let us write how we did it. We need to write these steps. Always when drawing or doing construction in geometry, we need to write the steps. So let me reduce it a little bit so it will look nicer. Okay. First step we're gonna do, we're gonna measure radius AB. Then at center A, draw an arc with radius AB. Then second, at center B, draw an arc with radius AB. Then third, the two arcs meet at 2 points C and D. Now we're gonna take any of the points. So for the first step, let's say like we took D, connect A to D and B to D. And like that, we have an equilateral triangle. So this is the proof for what? This is the construction, of an equilateral triangle. Now, we're gonna do what? We are gonna draw a rhombus. The rhombus is one of the most important ones. So, first of all, we're gonna say we have this over here. They are telling us now, pay attention. Imagine they are asking us, draw a rhombus of each side of length 7 centimeters. Imagine they are asking us this question. If you measure this is only 5 centimeters. It's not 7 centimeters. So what we are gonna do is that we're gonna take our compass and we're gonna take our ruler, okay? We're gonna measure from 0 until 7. We're gonna take the radius from 0 until 7. So now we measured using the compass a radius. So again, we measured using the compass a radius of 7 centimeters. Now what we're gonna do is that we are gonna take from this segment, I forgot to name it, let's call it AB. From segment AB, we are gonna, let me change the color. We are gonna put the compass at center A, and then we are gonna draw an arc. Draw an arc, a big arc. Okay? So I think it's too high up. So you know what I'll do? I'll clear everything and I'll redo it all the way from the beginning. Okay, I'll put it more down. So we have a segment. Let's call the segment AB. And how long is this segment? This segment is, oh, it's almost 7 centimeters. Let's make the segment a little shorter then. So we have this segment over here, which is like 6 centimeters almost. Okay. We're gonna call this segment AB. They asked us in the question to draw a rhombus of length 7 centimeters. So to draw a rhombus of length 7 centimeters, first thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna take our compass, we're gonna put it at 0, and then we're gonna bring it to the 7 centimeters. So if you see, approximately, it is almost 7 centimeters. So it has a radius of 7 centimeters. Next thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna put the compass at center A, And we're gonna draw, again it's too big I believe, we're gonna draw 2 arcs. First this arc, then at center B, then from center B, we're also again gonna draw an arc. So now we have 2 big arcs and they both meet at a point, like they meet at 2 points. We're gonna call this point over here D, and this point up there we will call it C. So now to draw a rhombus, okay, we need to extend this line over here. The first thing we can do is that we can extend this line over here. Or actually, to be honest, there's no need to extend the line. Very simply, what we could do, we can connect point, my bad, we can connect, it doesn't connect, we can connect point A to C and point B to C. And then again, we can connect point A to D and point B to D. And there we go. Like this, we drew a compass of 7 centimeters. So where's my ruler? The ruler is over here. We're gonna bring it up. We're gonna measure the length of one of the sides of the rhombus to see if it's actually 7 degrees. 7 centimeters. And there you go. You see, this one is 7 centimeters. So khalas, this is how we draw a rhombus. So let me write the steps, okay? Let me change the color. Let me do this color now. The first step, the very first thing we did was that we drew, so we draw an arc, okay, but of the center A, so with center A, and a radius of how much did they need it? They needed it 7 centimeters and a radius of 7 centimeters. Part 2, we're gonna do the same but from center B. So draw an arc with center B and a radius 7 centimeters, okay? Step 3. The arcs meet at 2 points, so the 2 arcs meet at 2 points, which we called what? C and D. And then finally, step 4, we will connect C to A and B and connect D to A and B. And like that, we formed what? We formed a rhombus. So if they ask you in the exam to draw a rhombus, this is how you are supposed to do it. Now we have one last final case, which I believe will be coming in the exam. Okay, so let's say in the exam they ask you to draw a triangle, okay, with sides 7 centimeters, 6 centimeters, and 5 centimeters, for example, without using a ruler, because the ruler will always get you mistaken. Because if you draw 7 centimeters, you won't be able to draw the 6 centimeter and 5 centimeter properly. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna use arcs and angles to do what? To draw a triangle with sides 7 centimeters and 6 centimeters and 5 centimeters. So the easiest thing to do is to take the biggest side as the base. So let's start. We're gonna take, using our ruler, okay, I'm gonna put it a little down. We're gonna what? or I'll put it in the center, we're gonna draw triangle with the base of 7 centimeters. So this is the base of 7 centimeters. Now we'll need the ruler, okay? We won't get rid of it. Second thing is that we're gonna name it. We're gonna call this A, and this over here will become B. Now, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna use our compass and we're gonna measure one of the other sides. So we need what? We need a side of 5 centimeters, for example. So we're gonna measure using the compass a side of 5 centimeters. So now we have what? A radius of 5 centimeters. So let's say we're gonna go from center A, and we are gonna draw an arc with center A of radius 5 centimeters. So this is the first arc. Now the second arc, we also have a side of 6 centimeters. So we're gonna measure, I'll move it here. We're gonna measure a length of 6 centimeters. So now we have, using the compass, a length of 6 centimeters or a radius of 6 centimeters. Okay? So with center B and a radius of 6 centimeters, we will draw another arc. Oh my goodness, my arc always turns into a circle, okay? Try to not let your arc turn into a circle, because all of this is useless. What will I use with this, So, now we don't need the compass anymore. If you notice, look really carefully, they meet at a point here, which we will call it C, and the point here, which we will call it D. So to draw this triangle of length 7, 6, and 5 centimeters, you can either draw it upwards or downwards. I'm gonna draw it upwards, so you can either connect it AD and DB, or you can connect it AC and CB. So it will be like this. I'm gonna connect it upwards, and so it's gonna turn out something like this. So if I'm gonna take my ruler, I need the ruler over here. Okay, we're gonna measure first of all this side. This side is 7 centimeters. Okay, now the second side, this side's supposed to be 5 centimeters. If you notice, it is 5 centimeters. And now the final side, which has to be 6 centimeters, and it is 6 centimeters. So if we're gonna write the steps, the very first thing that we did, I'm gonna use black color, okay? The very first thing that we did is that we draw a segment of length 7 centimeters as the base, so as base. Then the second step, this is 2. Step 2, we draw an arc of radius 5 centimeters from center, this is a C, from center A. Step 3, we did the same thing but from center B, but this time we draw an arc of radius 6 centimeters, but from center B. Fourth step, we will notice that the 2 arcs meet at 2 points C and D. Okay, and now the final step, you can connect A to C and B to C. And like that we drew what? We drew a triangle of length, of side length 7 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 6 centimeters. So I believe these are probably some of the most important ones that will come in the exam. So now I will open the quiz and do it with you guys. Okay, so this is the quiz. The diagram below illustrates a nearly completed construction of a triangle congruent to triangle ABC. The arc is drawn. The arc drawn is an arc of the circle of center N and radius BC. Okay, what is the next step to complete this construction? So the first thing that they did was that they drew any random, they drew a segment that is congruent to AB. Next thing, they measured BC, they took the radius of BC, and then they drew an arc of radius BC from center N. So what's left for us to measure? We already have that AB is the same as MN. They already measured the radius BC, so the only thing left to measure is AC. And we used already center N, so definitely we're gonna be using center M. So what we're gonna do is that with center M, with M as the center, draw an arc of a circle with a radius AC, cutting the first arc at P. So the first arc or the original arc will be cut at P. Now, which of the following is true? We know that the two triangles will be congruent by which theorem? By the SSS, the SAS, or the ASA? Definitely the SSS theorem, but here we have two. Notice we have triangle MNP and triangle MNL. Did we ever mention a point L in the previous one? No, we said with M as the center, we drew an arc of a circle with radius AC, cutting the first arc at P. So it has to be M and P is congruent to ABC by the SSS theorem. Second one, we have the diagram below illustrates a nearly completed construction of an angle congruent to A. The arc drawn is an arc of the circle of center U and radius AD. So, what did they do? So far, they drew any random ray. Okay, they called it Y, for example. And then they measured AD and they drew an arc. They did with the random radius AD, they drew an arc that cuts ray AB and ray AC at points D and E respectively. Then, what did they do with the same radius AD? Okay, they went and from center U, they drew an arc that will cut the ray at a point X. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do, or that we did, if you remember, that we measured the distance or the radius of DE. After we measured the radius of DE, we put it on the center X. So from the center X, we will draw a second arc that will what? It will it will join the initial or the first arc. So we said with X as the center and the radius of DE, we draw an arc of the circle that cuts the previous arc at Z. Now finally, which of the following is congruent to EAD? Definitely, since it's cutting the previous arc at Z, ZUX is gonna be congruent to EAD. So over here it is ZUX. Question number 3. Given segment AB of length 10 centimeters, the diagram below illustrates how to construct a triangle ABC with AC equal to 6 centimeters and BC equal to 8 centimeters. We did something similar to this, okay? We did the 7 centimeter, 5 centimeter, and the 6 centimeter. Now here they're doing what? 10 centimeter, 6 centimeter, and 8 centimeters. Which of the following is a step in this construction? Definitely, the first thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna measure a radius of 6 centimeters, okay? They told us that AC is 6 centimeters. So we're gonna measure a radius of 6 centimeters, and from center A, we are gonna draw an arc, okay? And this arc has a radius of 6 centimeters. Then, the second thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna measure a radius of 8 centimeters. And we have BC is 8 centimeters. So from center B, we're gonna draw another arc with radius 8 centimeters. And they will both meet at the point C. So definitely, we're not gonna use any angles. We're not gonna pick a random point C because we don't know exactly where, like we can put it 6 centimeters, but we don't know if the other one is gonna be exactly 8 centimeters. Or like we can put it directly 8 centimeters. We're not gonna know if this one's gonna be exactly 6 centimeters. For them to be exactly 6 and 8 centimeters, what are we gonna do? We're gonna draw an arc with center B and the radius 8 centimeters, and draw an arc with center A and radius 6 centimeters. So let's submit this very small short quiz. Hopefully we don't have anything wrong. Alhamdulillah, thank God there's nothing wrong. If you guys want me to re-explain anything, please, I'll be more than glad to. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a lovely day.